Hello everyone, welcome to the new Terraform series, day 2. So in day 1, we discuss about the Terraform introduction, how to use Terraform documentation efficiently, about Terraform providers, Terraform backend, how Terraform works in backend, and I showed you the one demo about how Terraform actually works, how to use Terraform documentations and get templates from there. So today we are going to discuss about variables, then about locals and models, and how to print the variables and locals in the output. So these topics we are going to discuss. So lots of people are confused between the how what is the difference between variable, locals and models. Uh, So basically, everything that we created inside one folder, we can consider this as a model. So currently, as you can see, I am under the Terraform directory. So this Terraform directory will be considered as a one model, but this model is a root model because our main configuration is present inside this model. So the models in depth we are going in the next sessions. But right now, what you can kept in your mind that currently whatever things we are performing, whatever configuration changes that we are going to make here, that we are going to perform under our main module. Okay, yeah. So I just let comment out our yesterday's template, and we are good to go with variables today. Okay, so what is variable? Basically, variables are used to pass the certain values from outside the configuration, and we can reuse those variables values from our into our infrastructure, right? So it is the variables are very useful. That means we don't need to pass the complex values every time and in single quote in our main.tf or in our configuration file. So how we are going to define the variables in Terraform? So for that, you just need to type variable and hit enter. If you have autocomplete or you have Terraform extension downloaded in your VS Code, in that case it will be directly complete the variable part block. But if you not, then you can remind the syntax, or you can get the syntax in Google also. So once you define the variable, you need to provide the name for that variable. For example, I am taking one name uh, like my string. This is the name for this variable, and you need to provide the type and the default value for this variable. So type is string, and default is the value, any value that you need to pass to your configuration that you can provide here, a cloud guru, right? So this is how a single variable is defined here. Okay, now uh, there are lots of types of variables present like map, string, list, set. So I will define one more variable for type number. For example, variable my number. Okay, and type number, right? And default value is 5. Yes, perfect. You can also define the set of numbers also in the variable. Like for example, variable, then my set. Okay, then type for that is set, but inside set, what values you are going to store? You need to provide like strings or numbers. So I'm currently stored the numbers there. Then default value is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So this is how you are going to store the set of numbers in under the variable my set. So this is how the variable is working in Terraform, and this is how we are going to create the variables in Terraform. Okay. Then The next topic is locals. So why we are using locals if we had a Terraform, right? Basically variables, we are going to provide the variables before we run our Terraform configuration, or before we run our code. Okay, but locals actually works in the runtime. Basically locals are the internal values, and they capture the values at runtime. Yeah, obviously you're not going to use the values to provide again and again and repeatedly, right? During runtime, the best way to define the values in runtime is using locals. So how you are going to define locals? What is the syntax for that? For to define the locals, you just need to type locals and hit enter. So it will create the local block. So I'm just creating a simple local like my local or any other name that we want to provide, like my local. And so how, so in this local, you can use that local as a variable also, but why we should use locals if you are a variable? So if any value that you wanted to compute during runtime, uh, if you have lots of variables and you want to combine the multiple variables, any output from the configuration, and that you have to concatenate and then store it under my local. For example, let's check for, suppose I will declare one more string here, so it will be better you to understand the locals, and I will mark as two, and I will name this string as a my string one and two, a cloud hero one and a cloud hero two, right? So now I need to combine these two values and store under the single value, but this should be happen during runtime, right? We are not going to uh, we are not going to provide the value before. We are just calculating this value during the runtime. So here you just need to provide the name for that variable like this. So how to call a variable in Terraform? We need to use the var keyword and then variable name like my string. Okay, then uh, um, uh, what you need to, how to, you are going to separate that. You can use any sign like space, or you can use hyphen or underscore, anything. I'm currently using hyphen. And now var dot string 2. So this is how your local is defined here. Okay. If you guys know about Terraform workspace, like if you run the command Terraform workspace and then list, so it will shows you the lists of the workspaces that are present in Terraform. Yeah, you can see here the default. But if you want to use in your configuration the current workspace list, so at that time, so I will be defining one more local. Okay, and local two, sorry, local two. This is local one, and I'm just using my string one. And here I am printing the current workspace name like Terraform dot workspace. Yeah, so this will print the default. So can you guys guess what value these local print in output? So first one prints a cloud hero one hyphen a cloud hero two. And what about second? So this one also prints a cloud hero one hyphen, and then the namespace name. So sorry, workspace name. So what is our current workspace? That is default. So default. Okay, so this is how locals are works. There is another way. let's say this is our instance name, and here if you wanted to store the instance ID inside this local, okay, so you can store that one also. For example, I'm just uncommenting this one, and now you wanted to store, I'm just in name 3. Now you wanted to store the uh, instance ID. So for that you just need to use dot a cloud hero dot, then what you wanted to store here, AMI ID, ARN, what are the possible options? It can show you like IDs, so instance ID. So at that case, once now we don't know the instance ID, and that instance ID we are not able to provide before the instance started or instance is created. So during runtime, the instance will be created and it will generate one instance ID. Now what our locals do, it will gather that information from the state file where the resource instance is created. So at that time, it will fetch the ID, and we are good to use that local during our output. Okay, so this is how it works, right? So currently, I will comment it out because we are not currently using any cloud. We are just uh, getting more hands-on on HCL language and our today's topics like variable models and locals and outputs, right? So this is how local works. Okay. Then the next topic is output. So what is output in Terraform, right? So the output print the value provided to it. Whatever value we provide to output, it will print it, and it will print that value from Terraform configuration after runtimes. Once the Terraform generate one value and Terraform apply completed at the end, it will print the values that we are provided under the output section, right? So how we are going to define the output? So for that, you just need to use output block. Once you type out, show you one block and one output. So you can just get that block, hit enter, it will automatically print the output block for you guys. You need to provide some name for that output. Like currently, I am just printing string one and number and our local, right? So provide some name that is you will be able to understand for that. So one name is output underscore string one, right? And here you need to provide the value for that output. So what is the value? That is var dot string one. So string one will be printed as output in this output variable output underscore string one. Then the next output we can print like output underscore number. Okay. So under value, I provide the variable number. So it will print the output from the variable my number in output underscore number output. And then the last one I will print one local. So how we are going to print local? Similarly, you just need to use output, and you can provide any name. It is not required like you always you need to put output. You can put anything, but for our reference, I'm just using that one. So local, right? Output local, and what is the value for it? Local, my local one. Currently, I'm using my local one. That means it should print this one. Okay. Or we can do one more thing. I just print another local also. So you guys will know what is the value present inside that workspace. Local, sorry, local 2. Okay. So this is how the output is work. Now you guys are understanding what is the variable, what is local, what is output, what is the root module. Then now it's time to play with our HCL language, right? So this is the HCL language that we defined earlier. Now Terraform provide one command like Terraform validate. What this command does, this command will yeah, I think I print typo here. Yeah, Terraform validate. This command will check the syntax for the Terraform and display the error present inside that syntax. So now it shows one error that duplicate output definition find at line number 76. Then we can go to line number 76 and you can see we are not able to provide the same output name to the output block. So you need to provide a different name. So here I will provide local 1 and here I provide local 2, right? Now we return the Terraform validate. That command helps you to find the errors present inside your Terraform code before running the Terraform apply command. So it that Terraform validate command now go and validate it the total our Terraform script in the current directory one by one. As you can see, it shows success and the configuration is valid. If you wanted to format this Terraform script properly, so you can use Terraform formatting command like Terraform FMT. So FMT stands for formatting. So it will format the Terraform in proper manner. So our Terraform code is already in format structure. But if the Terraform is not in proper format, then it will format it. Okay. Now we can direct. So currently we do not provide any providers here, or we don't want any plan to be print from our cloud. So directly we can use apply command here. We don't need to use Terraform init and Terraform plan because we are not, anyways, we are not going to use any provider. So Terraform, Terraform apply. Yeah. It will ask to provide the enter the value. It's like every time we need to provide the yes, but so I will print this one. Yes. Yes. So what is the value present in local one? The value that we are passed in lower local, right here. In local 2, this one, right? Then what is the output number? Inside number, what we store the variable number. So variable number have value as a number 5. Then output string 1 has a variable string 1 and it has a cloud hero 1. So this is how the output works in Terraform. It will provide. So if here uh, if we create that instance and you wanted to display the instance ID from that instance, so at that time also you can directly provides the that instance ID or that local where we store the instance ID and just print output that local my local 3. So it will print the instance ID after that instance is created. So output works. So what we cover in our today's session, first we understand the variables, how variables works in main.tf. And there are other ways to pass the variables that we are going to discuss in our next sessions, like in variables.tf, like in tf.var file. But this is the basic way, right? Then we discuss about locals, why we need to use locals and how to create the locals and pass it to the output. Then output, how to display the output in Terraform, that we are going to see now. Okay. So let's see the agenda for our next session, that is day 3. So in day 3, we are going to discuss about the conditional logic in Terraform. Okay. So that's it guys for today's session. Hope you like this session.